why we are here is to learn and become a problem solver. You seek out for solution. You can see everything attached to this problem and there are no solution. The solution is outside. So that's why you are coming here to acquire knowledge. That's why you need to be consistent for the next 5 weeks of this program. So steps to creating a great solution. Firstly, can you get it to work on your system? Like I said, can I get it to work on my system? If this thing, I have a problem to actually write a piece of code to calculate 1 plus 1. Yeah, I have to first make it work on my system. Then secondly, can I integrate with the rest of the solution? Yeah, you just with a bit of the calculator, which is just an action that has. Then can you do the rest? So that's integrating to with the rest of the solution. Then is it scalable? Can you make it that solve more complex solutions?
Odunayo, can
Yeah,
you speak a little louder, please? Please speak a little louder.
okay, a little louder. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Lily. So, yeah. So, but how do you solve complex problems? How do you solve complex problems? So, the illustration I'm going to use there is how do you eat an elephant? Yeah, you don't eat the elephant as a whole, but it's always one bit at a time. You break it down into bit-sized pieces, just more bits of it. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. So that's why we are starting with the foundation, the fundamentals of Python, because everything is actually bit by bit, and we are going to have it for like different. The more we go, the more it become complex. But we are starting little because this thing is a problem that you have to learn, and it's for you to become a problem solver. So we have code here, the finger of God. So what do we mean by finger of God? Code has solved a lot of problems. For you to pick up your phone, to be able to send message, to communicate with someone outside, like the way I'm able to communicate with us all here, some years back, nobody would actually believe that is possible. So code is just a little bit of like the finger of God in action, yes. So the thing like between code and magic. Currently, we can communicate instantly across vast distance, automating tasks, predicting the future. There's even mind reading now. So it has grown to a stage in which something that people several years ago will not actually believe that it can happen is currently happening. And Python is playing a major role in actually making all of this actually a reality for us. So fundamentals of Python needed to be a problem solver in 21st century. Firstly, you have to learn about variables and common data types. Understand the arithmetic, comparison, assignment, logical, bit by operators, which is very important. All these things are very important. Intuitive understanding of logic. Ability to write good functions with robot validation, which is very important. The ability to actually write good functions. You write different functions and you call it inside different functions so that you actually, like the way we have the elephant, that we break it into actually smaller pieces to eat. So we must learn. And part of the thing we're going to teach you is how to write good functions. Understanding data structure in form of lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets. So we have file handling to open, read, write, close files using with open in Python for file handling. So you have to familiarize yourself with OOP, which is actually object-oriented programming, error handling to handle runtime errors using try, except else, and finally blocks. All these things you are going to actually learn them. So testing with unit tests and by tests and different kind of frameworks that you're going to use to write automated tests for your code. Working with APIs to learn how to make HTTP requests and work with RESTful APIs. So, and also we have automation and scripting. These are just one of the basic things. Interacting with databases, performing queries and integrating with SQL with Python. So there are various methods to use. I just actually highlight SQLite TV here, and for us to actually be able to learn all these things. So yes, so that brings us to AI and data science. So how do we combine AI and data science together? So there comes Chisquares. So we were able to actually bring software framework with artificial intelligence in terms of summarization. So we computate, analyze, all these things are done with Python, computate, we analyze, we transform with table creation, we visualize evidence of sentences, we have table text generation, we have reference management, journal identification, and manuscript submission. So all these things, you can see code icon here. So you can see the code icon here. All these things are actually done using Python. That's why it's important for you to be here and to finish the lecture in the next 5 weeks. So,
But Tunayo,
yeah,
sorry to
can you?
disturb. Oh, you're done. Okay. No,
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry to disturb. I was going to ask you to please
Yes.
put it on
Yes.
slime,
Yeah.
your presentation on
Yeah.
slide mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you for listening. So it's time to hand over to Mujib to actually take over our hand and run us through the lecture for today. Thank you all.
Hi everyone. Good day. My name is Mujib. I'm a data scientist with Chi-Squares. I will be our instructor for the 5 weeks Python basic course. So I would like the course to be more of knowledge sharing with each other. So we are starting from scratch with Python. So our belief is that we are all newbie to Python. So we'll make it as simple as it can be. We've shared an overview of today's course via email. I'm not sure if everyone got it, but for today's session, we'll be sharing that with us. So that will be our guide for today's session. So make sure you follow along as much as possible and try to follow the steps. So today, our major goal is to install Python on our system. So I will be here to guide us through the installation process. Though it can be a little hard, but I'll make sure to make the steps easier for everyone to be able to install Python on our system. Yes, the process is very easy. And I have it on a document which I will share now for everyone. So our main goal today is to make sure every one of us have Python on our system, because this is not a theory class. Yes, we'll be doing a lot more of practical. So it's very essential for us to have Python installed on our system. So I'll share the presentation now and we'll go through the installation process together. one of the things I would like us to do is to try as much as possible to also start the installation process with me now. I already have it installed on my system, but still, we'll go through it together. But before we go through that, why Python? Why Python? So Python makes data analysis, data science, data engineering, anything relating to data. It makes it easy for us to operate. And with Python, we can develop softwares, we can write programs, we can write scripts with Python. The use and applications of Python, yes, it can easily be used for web development using the popular frameworks, the Django, Flask, Fast API. Data science and machine learning. With Python, we can easily venture into the field of data science, machine learning, data analysis with Python. It makes it very, very easy for us. And also automation. We can easily write automation scripts. Like, let's say we have list of tasks. This list of tasks, like they follow a set of steps or procedures. So if you are able to understand this automation task, we can write a Python script that will automate this process for us. Instead of we coming every day to do the same task, we can write a Python script that will help us do this. So that's what we call automation. Scientific computing, researchers and scientists really find Python very important in their work. So because they analyze data, they work with data. If you work with data statistics, Python is very, very much useful for you. So to install Python, the link to this document is already on the chat. You can try as much as possible to open it. I've copied the link for us to download Python. Yes. Python installation guide. You'll find it here on this page. So our first step is for us to check if you have Python installed already on your system. Reinstalling it again, there's no need for you to do that. So for Windows users, for the purpose of this session, we know we have some people who are using Windows and we have some that might be using Mac. To check installation of Python already, if you have it, you need to open your terminal or command prompts. To open that command prompts, it's like an interface on your laptop. It exists. So for Windows users, you can go to start menu and search for command prompts. We should have something like this. Here, I'm using Mac. Okay. Can you see my screen? I want to confirm.
Yes, we can. But we also see your WhatsApp, but we can see your screen now. Okay.
All right. Thank you. So I need us to check if we already have Python installed already. For Windows, the steps is press Window plus R on your laptop and type CMD, then hit enter. So if there is any concern, you can drop it on the chat box. We can check it out together if there's any concern regarding that. So, but mostly if we don't have Python installed, we can just go straight to installing the Python application using this link. Please check the system requirements if you are using Windows or if you are using Mac. It's very important. So clicking on this link will redirect us to another page. Yes, it has started the download for me, but I'll pause this. I already have it installed. So take notes for Windows users, the first one, for Mac users, the second one. We've tried to label the instruction very well for us to see. So I'll wait for a few minutes while we get that installed. That's the first step. So after installing Python, after downloading the setup, because what we just did now is we downloaded the setup. So we should have the installation on our folder, download folder, probably. So after completing the downloading, you can check your download folder. Then the following steps will continue from that folder. So double click on the file you have downloaded on the folder now, the new setup that you just downloaded. So follow this installation process. For Windows users, we might see a two checkbox here that says add Python to parts and use admin privilege. We need to check that and install the Python software on our laptop. Let me check if there is any. Yes, if you have Anaconda installed, that's what we are going to be using. You don't need to install any other software. Yes, for those using phone, I'll share a link for us to use. So I will recommend us to use Google Colab to follow us with the class. But the recommendation is for us to use a laptop or a PC. So please remind me before we end the class. I'll share a link for us to use. So the link is we'll be using a web platform called Google Colab. So with that, we can still follow with the class for today. But the recommendation is for us to use a laptop or a PC. Well, very nice that we have some that already have the Anaconda installed. Yes. All right. In the absence of no question, we'll proceed with the Close this. After getting Python installed, the process of checking if this installation is already on our system is on the documents. We just need to open command prompt again, following the same process we did here. Window plus R, then type CMD to open command prompt. So for Mac users, we just need to open terminal. So the usage of this terminal is, we are not using it to write Python. We just want to confirm the installation of our software. So we type Python. The font size is very tiny, but the instruction is already on the Google documents that we can check. What I just need you to do is to check the version of Python installed. So here is what I typed, Python -version, to check the version of Python that I have installed. So here I can see Python 3.11.3. This shows that the installation is completed if you should have this response. Please, let's try as much as possible to make sure we all have Python installed. So it will make work easier as we move forward in the class. And if there is any concern, please drop it on the chats. We have people that can help. So the next step is complete the installation. After clicking on install now, the installation process will begin. Once done, you should see a confirmation screen that the installation was successful. Another important software I will need us to download is the Anaconda. I can see people already mention it that they have it installed on their system. So please, let's try as much as possible to also click on this link, download Anaconda here. I'm not sure if I can drop it also on the chat. I'll drop it. Yeah. So we have a link for us to download Anaconda on the chat. It's an important software for this course. After clicking on this link, download Anaconda, we'll see a page like this. So for Windows users, it's very easy. Just click on the only option on the page. For Mac users, then depending on your system specification, you can choose the one for your laptop. I think for M1 system, MacBook from 2020 till date, you can go for Apple Silicon. Then for 2019 and below, you can go for Intel chip. Both, we need graphical installation, please. Graphical installation. Let me try and click on the link for us to see. Yes, we'll be routed to this page. For Windows users, we only have one option. Just click on this to download Anaconda. For Mac users, we have different options, which I've explained. So just click on the link, then the download will start. The installation process is very much easy. Just follow the installation guide. After downloading the setup, double click, then install. Yes. Let me check the charts. So we'll start with the class now. If you're having any issue with the installation, please try as much as possible to drop it on the chat. Please, anyone that's have answer to the questions should please help respond to it while we continue with the class. And also, we'll be sharing a WhatsApp group for you to join. So any issues you are having, you can share it on this group. We'll make sure to attend to it. So the assumption now is we have Anaconda installed. So to open Anaconda for Windows users, just go to Start menu and search for Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda. Here I have it. So this is the application we'll open anytime we want to start working with Python for now. Yes, this is the interface of the Anaconda application. We have environment, learning, community. The applications under Anaconda Navigator, we have Data Spell, Anaconda Notebooks, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, and various other applications like that. But our only concern here is Jupyter Notebook, which we'll be using for our classes. So the process is easy. You just click on Launch. Then this will open a Jupyter Notebook for us. Yes. Everyone, please make sure we have this interface where we start our application. So the process of creating a new file is very easy. We have upload new. So click on new and then Python 3. This will create a new file for us to start our work. So when we have this application opened, first thing we need to do is name our file. Let's say my first project. Let me go back. So the process of renaming our file is here. The default file name is untitled. So we click on that, then we rename it. My first project. Yes, that's been renamed. So I will shortly explain why we are using Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is not the only application we can use to write Python, but to make it beginner friendly for those that are very new to Python. So that's why I recommend we use Jupyter Notebook. It's very easy and beginner friendly. Also, going back to Python, we have other options to, let's say, want to create a software, we want to analyze research data, we want to build a data pipeline, we have various options other than Python. But why Python is more recommended is that it's very easy to write, very, very easy. As we start today, I believe you will agree with me that Python is very, very easy to write. And why Python is also that Python has a very large community support, whereby if you are facing any challenges, there is always a solution or a recommendation for you to follow to solve that problem.
Sorry, Mujib.
Yes.
Sorry,
Hi.
Mujib. Participants are not following. So if you can just go back to the installation process so they can follow. I see a lot of comments on the group, on the chat box. So just, and also try to move a little slowly.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. So thanks to Longile shared, we should go back a little bit for those that are yet to get the installation. So the first process for the installation is, I'm not sure, let me share the link to the document again to the chat. Yeah. Something is wrong. Please, can someone help share the link to the documents on the chat?
Share it.
Yes.
And there's
So
a question, Mujib, they're asking, what about those who've been using PyCharm?
They can also follow along. But the recommendation for this course is Jupyter. If you're using PyCharm, you can follow along because Jupyter Notebook is not the only software for you to write Python. We have other options too. But for the purpose of this session, we recommend using Jupyter Notebooks. But every other software is also fine as long as we can write Python on it.
Mujib, can we ask one of the participants who is struggling, someone who is struggling, because you've already downloaded Python, right? So perhaps one of those, then you can guide them through the process so that others can see. Is there anyone who would like to share their screen? Those who are still struggling to download Python.
Yes. So
you can be assisted through the process.
Yes. I think I should stop sharing. Then we can have someone to share. So we can go through the installation process.
Okay, Shen. Shen, would you like to share your screen?
Yes, I like to share my screen. I'm having an issue of installation. Can I share with?
All right. Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello, I was trying to unmute. It was telling me the host is not allowing me. So this is Sean. Hello.
Can you see it now?
Okay, Shan, maybe we can just sorry about that. Let's let the one who's already sharing to continue.
Okay.
You can just follow
Can you see
along.
mine?
Thanks.
Okay, please, can you
Yes,
just look
we
at,
can see.
sorry, I'm interrupting. Can you just look at the chat box? I sent a picture there. I'm trying to install the Anaconda. It's telling me create shortcuts, add, so I just sent a picture. If you can just respond to it, I'll be fine. Thank you.
But Dunaya, can you please attend to that?
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you can actually click on install directly. You don't need to click on all the checkbox. So you can click on the first, the second one, and the third one. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm still confused. Okay, I should click on create shortcuts
Wait.
and add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variables.
Yes, what
Yes.
creation code does is just to create it on your desktop so that it's easily accessible. The icon will be there on your desktop so that easily access the application. So to add an encoder to your path is just to make sure that it's there on your path variable anytime you want to launch your project. So everything here you can just check them, then click on install.
Okay.
Yes, yes, thank you. Can just accept default settings and yeah.
I think something, when I click on the third one, it's telling me that a version of Python 3.1264-bit is already at this part. We recommend that if you want an Anaconda registered as your system Python, you register this Python first. If
So
you,
that means you have Python installed on your machine, actually.
yes, I just installed it now before installing the Anaconda.
So which version is your Python?
The link you sent to, I think that's 3.12. That's what I
Okay.
installed just now before the Anaconda.
So I have downloaded. Can I install?
Yeah,
Please,
just
let's just follow the installation process now that's being shared on the screen. I think
So now can you see it? I'm saying run. I'll also say run.
So,
Hello,
Yes.
can I go ahead?
No, Shen, please
Yes,
let's
hi.
let the one who's already sharing continue. I will mute everyone else so that Mujib can continue.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing it. One in destination folder contains one space. This can cause a problem with the several Kanda packages. So I will click add
yes,
install. You know, now
click
they're
on
asking
add.
question. Can you see it?
Yes, click on add Anaconda 3. Okay, remove it. Not recommended. Yeah,
So I will say install.
install, yes. There's a question that, so we must install Python and Anaconda. No, it's not necessary. We can only install Anaconda, but because we want to use Python later without using an Anaconda, that's why I want us to install everything we need just to start with Python. The link for Anaconda, I will try and share it on the chat. I think I'm not allowed to drop a message. Send to all. I've dropped a link to download Anaconda. Yes, if it's taking too long, might be because of network. Please make sure you have a stable internet connection before downloading Anaconda. Anaconda installation is taking too long a time. Is it a problem? No, it's because of the size. It's not a problem. For Mac users, 2020, which version of the Anaconda should I download? If you are using Mac 2020 and above, the recommendation is graphical user interface for Apple Silicon, not Intel. We have one for Intel, we have another one for Apple Silicon. So I think if it's 2020 above, go for Apple Silicon. My version is Python 3.12. Will it be okay? Very okay, please. If you're already using PyCharm and you wish to get Anaconda also, it's very easy. You don't need to uninstall PyCharm. Just follow this same installation process for you to get Anaconda. Hey. Yes, the meeting moderator will share a link for the WhatsApp group. Ms. Titilayo, are you sure we can actually wait for the installation process? No. We might need to continue our class after some minutes. We just want to make sure like Mr. Ramon is not having any issue again. I think after some minutes we can continue with our class because it will definitely take a while for the completion of the installation. Someone is asking, is it recommended to install for just me or all users? I'm asking to select options. So install just for me will be fine. Sorry, I'm trying to attend to some message chats before we continue with the class. Someone said, I propose that maybe today we need to cover installation parts only. Yes. And also, we might not be able to finish with the installation parts. So that's why the WhatsApp group is very important. So for people who are yet to get the installation rights, you can reach out to us on the group. Then people can attend to you. Question, please. Do you mean one can use either Anaconda or Python independently? Yes, you can use Anaconda or Python independently, depending on what you want to do. So Anaconda just makes it easy for you to start with Python. That's why I'm recommending that for us. If you start with Python independently, I think some people might run, but with the Python notebook, which is Anaconda, we'll find it very interesting. Someone is asking, should I add Anaconda 3 to my parts environment? I think we just demonstrated now that on this screen. You don't need to select it. What about 2.7.11?
Mujib,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
now proceed with your presentation, with the actual presentation.
All right, thank you. So for any other questions, we'll try and attend to it on the group. Mr. Ramon, you can stop sharing now.
Okay.
You can click on the stop share button. Thanks.
Now it's okay.
Yes, thank you very much. So I will quickly demonstrate the process of starting our application for us again. So after completing the Anaconda installation, for Windows users, we have our start menu where we can search for applications. So the application we want to search for is Anaconda here. Even before completing this thing, let's bring it up. So we'll start by opening the Anaconda Navigator. So the Anaconda Navigator interface is, we have environments, we have learning, we have community, then we have various applications that can help with data science, data analysis, statistics, research, and all. But for the sake of this session, our desired application here is Jupyter Notebook. So what you just need to do is launch. Then wait for a few seconds for it to open the browser for you. So after getting something like this, the process is for you to create a folder where you will be working. So let me do that now. Can create new, can start working directly by creating new Python 3 file. But I'll try and create a folder. By default, it has created the folder. It's named untitled folder. So I can open this and start working, but I would like to rename it. To rename this folder, you check this, then go back to the top. You see an option for you to rename. So the process is you create new folder. After creating new folder, you check the box and then you come up here to rename it Python Essentials. That's the name of my folder. So then rename. Okay. So to select the folder I'll be working on, I'll select this. This is my folder. Yeah. You can see it's empty. So start by creating Python 3 file in it. Yes, we've completed the process of starting a file. So you can name it, but I'll do that later. Here, let me quickly go through this interface for us. We have file. Under file, we can create new notebook. We can open existing notebook. We can make a copy of this notebook. We can save, we can rename, we can save and checkpoints. Let's say we've made some changes and we want to revert. So we can easily do that on this file. We can print these documents. We can download. There's option for us to download this file as HTML, LaTeX, Markdown, PDF, or as a .py file. Also, close and alt. Yeah. Under edit option, we can cut, paste, copy, delete. You can find and replace. Yes, this is very important. Find and replace. Let's say you have a text that you want to find and replace. You can easily get that on the edits. So view, toggle header, toggle toolbar. Under inserts, okay, let's say I want to insert a cell above this. Okay, let me do that. I can insert a cell. I can insert more. Okay. You can click this to run a cell. You can click this to run all our cells, because here the interface is each cell, it contains block of codes. So we can run every cell together, or we can run individually. So Jupyter Notebook is powered by a kernel. This kernel, we can restart it, we can interrupt, we can reconnect, we can shut down. Let's say we've done working, we can shut down the kernel. I think those are the important. Then the icons here, this save icon, insert cell icon, this cut, to cut a cell. Let's say we've selected some cell, we want to copy those cells. This is what the icon is doing. After copying, you can paste with this icon. you can move cell. Let's say I have Mujib here. I can easily move this cell up and down. Let's say I want to move it up, I want to move it down. So also, after creating your code, you can just click on this button to run your block of code. You can restart the kernel. I think we already have that here to restart a kernel. Yeah. Also, under Jupyter Notebook, another important aspect for us to understand is this markdown. Let's say when we are writing a program, the first thing we need to do is we need to create like a documentation to explain what this code will be doing. So to do that in Jupyter Notebook, you can create a markdown. This markdown is not a code. It's just like you want to explain what you are doing, like a comment actually. But it will create like a cell for you to write this documentation. Right? Then if it's code, you leave it as code. That's the default. Okay. We have 99 plus chats. We'll check that later. So starting with Python. Python is same like we write in English language, or let's say mathematics. Yes. For example, 1 plus 1, like it's as easy as that. That's why I say Python is very easy. I need you to agree with me. Python is very easy. So with Jupyter, we have cell, we have outputs. Whenever we write like a piece of code, we can easily see our outputs. Yes, yeah, we have 1 plus 1. Can do any operations we want here. And it's very easy. Same way we write English, same way we write mathematics. That's the same syntax Python follow. Other options except Python they are kind of have some complex syntax for you to follow, but Python makes it very easy. And even if I should write any code here, without me explaining, if I should give you, you'll be able to say, okay, this is what this code is doing. It follows like English-like syntax, very easy. And let's say I want to print something out. In Python, print is very important. Print is, we have inputs. We want to display it on our console. That's when we use print. Let's say I want to print name, my name, Mujib. Let me move this. So this brings me to, I'm not sure if anyone sees what I do now. Like we have Mujib. I put this in quotes. So this will bring us to what we call data type in Python. So when you are starting with Python, there are some basic things you need to understand. As I've said before, Python is very easy to write, very, very easy. But there are some few things you need to understand for you to be able to write Python easily. So one of those things is for you to understand data types in Python.
Mujib, before you move to data types,
Yes.
can you please repeat the step on how you got to this page? So you can skip the folder creation to make it easier. Some people are not following.
All right. I'll do a quick recap for how to get to this page. But before doing that, I'll quickly name my file. Let's say Python week 1. So to do that, let me save. Yes. So the process is that after downloading the Anaconda, that's I believe we've all started the installation by now. So after getting the setup, install it on your system. After installing it, if you are using Windows, you can easily go to Start menu and search for Anaconda. For Mac, you can just open the Launchpad and search for it. So this is the application icon that we need to open. So we'll give it some minutes to come up. So after opening the application, then you look for the Python notebook. This is the Python notebook. We have other applications also on Anaconda, but the one we are using for this session is Jupyter Notebook. So under it, we have a button which says Launch. So we click on that button to launch our application. So after clicking on Launch, I'll be redirected to my web browser where I will have this kind of interface. So from this interface, the most important thing I need us to check out is this new. To create a new Python file, we can just start from this and say create Python file. But I would recommend us to create a dedicated folder where we store our work. So that's why I said we can click on create new folder here, then give that folder a name. So I was told to skip that process. So what I'll just do now is then to click on create a new file, which is Python 3. So this is the process for getting to this page. Also, we can just go back to open our previous. Yeah. Maybe after this session, during the question and answer, we'll go through the charts and answer some questions. So back to where we stopped. Variables and data types. Okay. As I've explained already, on the Python notebook, we can create a markdown. Markdown is just telling us like a documentation about what we are doing. So part of the recommendation is to create a markdown, start with hash, then type the text, variables, and data types in Python. Okay, let me. Basic variables and data types in Python. So I start with hash, then I write the text here. Then before the default is code, but what I need is kind of like a markdown, something like an header for my code. Yes, let me run this. This makes sense. So like I can easily create a document and then format it in a very readable format. So the different data types we have in Python for numeric data types are kind of where we have numbers like 1, 2, or 1.1, like a measure. Let's say age is numeric data type, height, weight, like that, distance. So numeric data types. Example is, let's say I wrote 40. This integer, in Python, if you want to check the type of a text or a variable, type, and then put it inside a bracket. Type is a Python class. Yes. Yes. Type is a Python class that we can use to check the variables data type. Yes. It says this is an integer. So in Python, our list of data types includes integer, floats, string, bytes, and others. So on these documents, we've created an example for us to see. We can go through this to understand more on basic Python data types. So we don't want to go too deep today. So we just talk about integer and string. So integer is more of when we are talking about numbers. As I've said before, when we are dealing with variables like age. I can't ask for someone's age and they will now say, my age is let's say my age is school. My age is school. What's your age? School. No, I'll be expecting like a number. So yes, those are integer data types. Age, height, salary. When we're talking about salary, we are expecting numeric data type, which is integer also. So the other data type I want us to discuss today is string. Yes, basically in data analysis, what we work with most of the time is numeric data type, but we can't leave string behind also. We need string also in our data. So to create a string data type in Python, we need to put the string inside a double quote for the system to be able to identify that this is a string data type. Let's say instead of putting quotes, I made a mistake. If I should write Mujib, the system does not understand Mujib. Who is Mujib? So let's see. This is expected. It says name error. Mujib is not defined. The system does not understand Mujib. So that's why when we want to create like a text in Python, we need to put double quotes. Instead of double quotes, we can use single quotes also. So now the system will accept this. Yes, this is not bringing error statement again. So let's try with single quotes. Rahman. Yes, the system understands this. Also, in Python, we can join two strings together. The concept is we can have string 1, string 2, then we can add these strings together by joining them. The same goes for integer. We can have, let's say my first, I have 1, I can add together. Okay, I have 2. The same process goes for string also. We can have 2 strings and then add them together. Let's say I have Abdul. I have Abdul. To add 2 variables in Python, we use plus sign. Let me add that as a markdown for us. So I will insert a cell above. So I create it as a markdown, then I'll put an instruction to add variables. In Python, we use plus sign. So then I can run this. Yes, what you just need to do is you need to define the first variable and the second variable. Then you join them with plus sign. So let's see the results. We'll be expecting it to add this Abdul with Rahman. Yes, with the help of plus sign, we're able to join 2 strings together. Same with plus. For string, the system is just taking the first string and then pasting it together with the second string. So, but for mathematical operators, mathematical data like integers, the system is actually performing the action on it. If it's addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication, and we have other mathematical operations also, but those are the basics. So if it's integer data type, the system will actually perform the action. You see now, instead of putting 1 and 1 together, like in this case, we put Abdul and Rahman together. Here, it's not putting 1 and 1 together because this integer data type, and the system understands that this is actually 1 plus 1. Yes. I'll stop here for now. If there is question, we'll attend to it. And also, I will try and show us a practical application of using Python in real world problem. The same way we are having the output here, we can write a Python code that will function on, let's say, a mobile application, a web application, or like in various softwares. Yes, Python can actually help in also artificial intelligence, data science, data analysis. we can easily use Python for these tasks. I'll try and show us a quick demonstration of how Python is being applied to a web application. So let's say Chisquares. So Python basic course. So selected a country. Let's say Maldives. So here, I'll show us a practical application of Python. So what Python will be doing here is that it will take this text and this location, then try and generate project aims automatically without users needing to like input these aims by themselves. So what Python is doing in background is, I need to explain because I have Python developers in-house now. So what Python is doing in the background is that it's integrates with open AI, like a large language model, which is also like artificial intelligence to create aims that will suit this project topic, which is Python basic course. So with Python, we can easily integrate with large language model that generates response. So let's say generate with AI. Like these days, we're hearing like, okay, AI. And how can we like make use of this AI? With Python, we can easily see how we can integrate with AI. So what Python is doing in background is that it's take the inputs from users, then try and integrate some artificial intelligence into it to come up with project aims for these users. Let's say it says to evaluate level of satisfaction and feedback of students towards the Python basic course in Maldives, which is the country I selected, to explore the potential correlation between Python basic course and career opportunities for students in Maldives. So I'm not the one that went somewhere to type this. It's been generated by AI. And what I wanted us to do is that I try and use artificial intelligence and Python together to come up with these project research aims. So with Python, we can easily integrate our projects with artificial intelligence. We can easily catch up with new trends in AI. Even to me, Python is the building block of AI. So if you should know Python very well, you can easily move to the artificial intelligence. So let me clear this. Also, there are also other application of Python here, but in our coming session, we'll demonstrate how we can use this platform to collect data, and then we'll analyze that data together in our class. So that brings us to the end of the session. Then we'll move into question and answer. I'm not sure if we have, I'm sure we have thousands of questions. So let me stop sharing. Odonayo, do you have questions?
Okay, Mujib, thank you for the presentation, and we have a lot of
I'm sure
uh,
lots of questions. We are all
yeah,
here
but
together.
actually some has been explained actually during the time of taking the presentation by the doctor and I and Nongili to a very large extent. So
Thank you.
I think we start with Ifeanyi, right? So we said, so this is not really a question, but he already installed Python and Anaconda for a while. So now I think you have to just delete the initial version that you have and just reinstall. Yeah, the initial Python version that you have, then reinstall. It's going to work. So is using AI and Python going to be part of the training? Mujib, yeah, you can answer that. Can you hear me, Mujib? I think
Yes, this is a 5-week course. It's possible we reach that level, but it will be based on the momentum of the class and how people are able to catch up.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, how did you make title board? Okay, so can you just, I think people are having issues with how to use Markdown. So yeah, how to use Markdown. There have been a lot of comment on how you're able to write title, how you make it different formats. So if you can just take a second to just do a bit of illustration on that so that we can actually recap that part for others that wasn't able to grab that.
All right, let me quickly.
Yeah, just few minutes, please. Thank you.
I like the fact that folks are interested in using that Markdown because it makes the notebooks very easy to read, even for other people.
Okay.
So to create a Markdown, let me even start with, okay, here, this is a new notebook. So to create a Markdown, you come to this where we have code, this button here. So by default, it's code because the expectation is for us to come here to write code. But every time it's not code. Sometimes we want to create like a readable formatted documents where user can easily read, and together we integrate documentation with code. So to do that, you come here, this drop down. It's a drop down actually. Though the default is code, but whenever you want to use a Markdown, you come here, select Markdown. So after doing that, what you just need to do is start with hash, or you can just type the text, but I prefer to start with hash to make the text more bigger. Then how to use Markdown. So here is it. You can double click to edit. To edit, you just need to double click, then run. So once you are done with the cell, click run, the same way you will do for code. So if I should write any code, 1 + 1, to get the outputs, I will need to click on run.
Okay. Thank you so much, Muji. Thank you for that. So we have someone here also, Sean. He said he's still having, so for you to access it on your Mac, just go to the top of your screen. You will see a search icon. So that is the finder. Just click on it and type Anaconda. You're going to see it. So, okay.
Good day, please. I have a question.
Sorry, who is that?
This is Austin. I have a question. Can I ask? I'll be raising my hand, please.
Okay, just give me a minute. Let me go through those that have typed, and I'm going to call you soon.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, question from Oshukunle. So, is the variable in Python same as the dependent and independent variables? Mujib, do you get that?
Please come again.
So, is the variable in Python same as dependent and independent variables?
I believe I answered that on the chat.
Okay, doctor has already answered that in chat. Okay, thanks so much, sir. So, okay, doctor have answered almost all the questions there. Thank you so much, sir. So yeah, so I think we can take those the guys actually raising their hand now. So the first person here is Felix. Please, can you go fast about your question? Felix.
Good evening, though.
Yeah, evening.
So my question is this: a knowledge of R will it make learning Python easier? That's my question.
Sorry, can you actually rephrase the question?
Yes, I get this question, Odo.
Okay, that's nice then. Thank you.
Yes. Any knowledge of any programming language, even basic knowledge, will help in this course, especially R. Yes, it will help.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Felix. So the next person here is Okon. Utipe Okon, can you hear me? Can you ask your question, please?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful session. I don't know if I'm audible.
Yeah, you're quite audible.
Okay, so I already asked my question in the chat box, but I have to repeat it again. So going through the short session on the, what do you call it, data types in Python, I noticed for the string data type, you just went ahead you wrote the instruction Abdul without having to add the function name like print. You did that earlier, but when you now, did the whole thing again, you removed the function name print. So I don't know, is this peculiar to Jupyter Notebook alone? Because if you try this with normal Python, it will show you error. Is it peculiar to just Jupyter? Thank you.
So, yeah. Mujib, you can take the question.
Please come again.
Okay, so my question is this. When you went through data types in Python, you spoke about the numeric data type and also the string data type. Earlier, before you got to this session, when you went to type the string instruction, like, okay, for instance, a name of the person, David, you used a print function name, print. Use a function name print before writing the name and in quotes. But when you now came back, you just went ahead and wrote the name without the function name. So my question is this peculiar to just Jupyter Notebook? Because writing this on normal Python is showing error. Without the function name print and double quotes, what we have is error. So is it peculiar to just Jupyter, or we can also apply same to the other one?
All right. So with Jupyter, we have some, like, it's easy interface for us to write code. And with it, we can see outputs easily. Though originally, if you are writing Python code, if you want to get an output, using print function is essential. But on Jupyter Notebook, you can easily write even 1 + 1 a day, then get your output on the terminal.
No, my worry is with the string. The string can be like, my name is Basi.
Yes, if it's
So
in double
just
quotes,
writing, yes, okay.
if it's in double quotes, that won't generate any error for you. But if you just write the name without double quotes, and it generates the same error on Jupyter Notebook.
Okay, so we can go ahead and omit the function name, the print,
Yes.
and just write it in double quotes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mujib. So the next person here is Dominic.
Thank you very much, the coordinator, and thank you, Muji, for enlightening our knowledge and writing up. I really appreciate the opportunity to given to us for us to ask and also air our own view. I would like to ask, okay, I just started data science of recent, and I've been analyzing, but this Python, when I came across it, like, I want to know more. I'll be using a PyCharm, and many people will say PyCharm is good, using Visual Studio is good, using Anaconda is good. So my question is, which one is actually good? Because different people with different ideas and also understanding of different of how these programming languages work. So I want to know, which one out of the three or out of the numerous ones is more profitable? Thank you.
So Mujib, do you get the question?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I would say is that the basic thing is for you to be able to understand any language you want to write. Like, that's the fundamental key. If you should understand Python very well, writing it on VS Code, writing it on Jupyter Notebook, writing it on PyCharm will be very easy for you. But for someone who doesn't understand the basic syntax and how it works, it will be hard to, let's say, transition from using PyCharm, VS Code, Jupyter Notebook. So these are just like an instrument for you to experiment with. So our advice, understand the language, understand the syntax, then it will be easy for you to use any editor.
Okay, thank you very much.
For this session, the recommendation is Jupyter Notebook. The reason why I'm recommending Jupyter Notebook is that it's very easy and beginner friendly. I'm not sure if we all agree with that, but it's very easy and beginner friendly compared to other editor out there.
All right, okay, all right. Please, how do we also use this code to visualize a project? Let's assume a student is carrying out a project, and he or she has to incorporate machine learning. How do you use this Python to solve such a problem?
So yes, with Jupyter Notebook, you can easily use it as like a laboratory thing for you to write everything you need. Then after you are done experimenting with everything, you download the document as PDF. The documents will contain every analysis, data cleaning, graphs, your model, how they have been trained, and everything can be contained in this document. Then you can then share it with your supervisor.
Okay, so how can that? Yeah, take it. Does that mean that is the result? How can it be interpreted?
No. When you are doing that kind of process, your supervisor will be interested in this. Can you do that? Thanks. So when you're doing this kind of experiments, your supervisor will be interested in how you collect the data, how you clean it, how you analyze it, how you train the model, then how you are able to predict with this model. So all this can be contained in this Jupyter notebook. I'm not sure if you understand that.
All right. Thank you very much. I believe as we move on, I'll get a better understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
You are taking us too far.
So thank you, Dominic. So sorry, Ziba, can you actually mute yourself, please? Thank you. So I have Ndoro. I'm not sure I get the pronunciation right.
Okay, don't worry. Even if you don't get it right, I understand that you are referring to me. Okay, I want to sincerely appreciate the instructor, and my question is about the use of the Markdown. In Yeah, I try to use only the hash key and put my instruction like just the text, and it also shows the same text without giving any other information. So I want to ask: is it a must that we have to click the markdown first before we come down to write the text to explain what we are doing? I don't know if you get my question. That's a question. That is it a must for us to go through the markdown before we come and do the hashtag before writing the text?
Thanks. I will not say anything is the must. So it's all goes back to how you want to format your documents. So to use a markdown, you can just click on that markdown and then start typing your text directly without any hash. So yeah, the let's say alpha and omega of your documents.
Okay, then what I'm trying to say is, can we just type without going through the markdown with just the hashtag?
Yes, that's a comment then. Yes.
And what's the difference between the markdown and the comments?
Markdown is more of document formatting, like having a header, then body. I'm not sure if you understand. Comments is like there's no any formatting, just like normal text. Imagine I want to read a book, then at the beginning I have something like introduction, then I have the introduction text. Then just have every text together. The one that have like an header would be more like intuitive to user. So that's where Markdown comes in.
Okay, thank you. That's
like
for okay. I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So the next person I have is Ismail.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is the question you earlier on read from the chat. You said it has been answered, but I'm really interested in the answer. The question about the variables in Python, are they the same with dependent and independent variable? I tried to search for the question in the chat, but I couldn't find it.
Mujib, do you want to answer that or should I answer it?
Answer it, please.
Okay, so they are different. The material Mujib presented is talking about the way we capture and store data, right? Dependent and independent variables is what you declare. To use Mujib's words, you are the alpha and omega of your research project. You decide whether a variable is dependent or is independent. Now, the classification of a variable, so a dependent variable simply means the outcome of your research. The independent variable simply means a predictor. But a dependent variable could be any of those variable types. A dependent variable, the outcome variable could be string, it could be numeric, it could be integer, it could be float, it could be any of those things. So they have completely different things. Those ones are standards, data standards that are indicative of how your data were captured and stored. Whereas the issue of dependent and independent variables is how you, as the alpha and omega of your research project, decided to classify variables. You decided that this variable called smoking status is my outcome or my dependent variable, and age, sex, race are my independent variables or my predictors, right? And so that decision was yours to make. When you come to Python, those variables are fixed, and the dependent variable or the independent variables could be any of those types in Python. I hope that's clear.
That is very clear, Prof. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doctor, for that. So we move to Okechukwu Clinton. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening, all.
Yeah, evening.
My question is, when Mojib was explaining on this quotation marks, he made mention of having single quotation sign. I've not seen it before. I want to know if it is going to work when you have a single quotation. Even when he was using it, I don't think I saw when he used single quotation signs. The one I know is double quotation signs. So I want to be sure that single quotation signs will be able to give you a result when you use it. Do you get the question, or should I ask?
Yes, I get it.
Okay.
Thanks. In Python, using double quotation and single quotation, they works the same way. So though in some other language, it's different case entirely, but in Python, they work the same way.
Okay. Thank you so much. That is my question.
Okay. Thank you, Mujib. So I move to Coco.
Good everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Greetings to the facilitators and the lecturer that took us. I tried following what you are doing, but my problem is that I was able to do the work. I have it here, but in my own Jupyter, it does not have that where you run your own, where you were able to get a drop down to have that markdown and also options. The only thing I have in my own edit
I think it's having network.
view settings and help. So I wanted to be sure I did the right thing, or is it a mistake? Did you get me? Did you get my question, sir?
Your network actually went off for a few seconds. I don't know if you can recap.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that when you are doing it, when you put the presenter was presenting, I was also following. Okay. Now I was able to open that Jupyter notebook where he did the work, but in my own Jupyter is not exactly like his own. My own just have file, edit, view, settings, and help. I cannot. My own doesn't have where he